thank y'all for being out today. You know, I've had the pleasure of working with the man y'all all came to hear for the past 4 years, and the first time I really met him officially was when I went to his office to ask for some help for our Lawrence County school system. And you know, he didn't know what he was getting into when he let me in the door, but we ended up having a great meeting, and he ended up helping the county school system with a big deficit we had from 4 years ago. And that's a sign that he is truly a believer and a supporter of our education system. You know, this past budget, he approved percentage-wise more money for our K through 12 education than any governor in the past 50 years. He's a believer in our local public school systems. He's a true leader. He took the lead on several big, heavy issues that we've had to address, and he didn't let the legislator lead. He took the lead, but he's also a listener. When we come back to him with some changes we'd like to make to try to improve some of these bills and issues that he's presenting, he listens and he'll change them. So I've had the pleasure of working even closer with him as a floor leader for 2 years. I know he's a true Georgian, a true person that looks at things from the heart and wants to do the best he can for the state of Georgia. I just wanted to say that, and I'm glad he's here. I think, Terry, did you want to say a couple of words first? Okay. Terry Cook is one of the fine owners of this establishment. He's going to say a couple of words. Come on up, Terry.
It is an honor today to have Governor Deal visit Dublinair. Governor Deal grew up in Sandersville, just next door to Lawrence County. And I think he's been to Lawrence County so much he probably needs to change his license plate. But I think his campaign slogan really sums up what it is. He is the real deal. Governor Deal really cares about people. If you look at the money that he's put back in public education for the jobs that he has created in this state and how he cares and supports quality care for our patients, we cannot thank him enough. Governor Deal really cares about people. We've got a cheer going. Can we start? Real deal. Real deal. Real deal. Real deal. Real deal.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Terry. I never really pictured you as a cheerleader before. Matt, thank you for the introduction, and thank you all for being here. Boys and girls, y'all sounded great. I am proud of you. You're a bright-looking group of young students, and just remember to work hard. If my wife were here, she would say, and remember to read a lot. That's the secret to getting a great education. But thank you all for being here. Thanks to your instructor for bringing them out today. Thanks to Terry and the Cook family for inviting me here to Dublinair. This is a great facility. You do great work, and to the staff that provide the services to those who are here in this facility, thank you. To the family members that are here, thank you as well, because it does take the support of families to be able to make a facility like this truly live up to its real potential. You know, this is quite a contrast to see you here in this environment dealing with a quality of care for our senior citizens, and those of you who are making extraordinary efforts to make sure that individuals who are elderly, those who are disabled, those who are rehabilitating, have the kind of services that they need and that they're kept in a secure and protected environment. It is a contrast to where I just left up in Forsyth, Georgia, at the Public Training Center there. Today, there is a conference going on, and it is made up of law enforcement officers, the GBI, local law enforcement officers, prosecuting attorneys, our service agencies of the state of Georgia, Department of Community Health, Department of Developmental Disabilities, our Department of Human Services, and they are talking about a topic that is the other side of the coin, and that is elder abuse and those situations across our state where we have unlicensed personal care homes. In fact, we are told that in June of this year, we were told that they have made about 300 identifications of unlicensed facilities that are operating in our state. And many times in those environments, really bad things tend to happen. So they are there today to learn more about how to work together, and it is always good when you have all of the ingredients of state and local agencies that have some jurisdiction over a subject like that be able to come together with the advocacy groups, and they are represented in that environment as well, to come together to try to figure out what can we do to protect our senior citizens or those who, for whatever reason, may be in a disabled capacity. I signed into law a bill that I think is going to make a huge difference. In fact, everyone that comes in contact with the issue tells me that it is. It gives prosecutors some more tools. It allows, for example, for depositions to be taken and used in a criminal case. That is something that is very rare. It can be taken of individuals who are potential witnesses, if they're 72 years or older, to preserve their testimony, because sometimes, as you know, it takes a while to get criminal cases actually to trial. It has increased the penalty from 5 years to potentially 20 years for those who take advantage of our elderly or are disabled in this state. We believe it's a step in the right direction. As we have seen, the number of reported cases have increased by about 65% from 2008 through 2012. That is a significant number of new cases that are being reported. And we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to try to eliminate the bad cases, to make sure that we provide alternatives. And to Terry and his family, the Cook family, thank you for providing a facility such as Dublinair. It is a great example of the kind of thing that a partnership between a business, a community, and the families and those who need the services coming together can provide, and it's certainly an asset in your community. Thank you all for allowing me to be with you today. I think Terry's right. I'm going to have to get me a permanently green tie that I can wear. I thought about it this morning. It's not like I did the other day. I was on one of the days like today where I go to a lot of different places around the state, and sometimes I don't pay close enough attention to where I'm going to be later in the day. I wound up in Athens, Georgia the other day, and I was speaking to a group over there, and I had not paid particular attention to the color tie that I was wearing that day. I happened to have on a navy blue and yellow tie, and I got there a little early, so I decided to go to the varsity there in Athens, Georgia, to get a hot dog. And I walked in, and this lady, she recognized me, and she came over and she started talking to me, and she said, "Governor," said, "you really ought to pay more attention to the color tie that you wear when you come to Athens, Georgia." I said, "Well," I looked down, I said, "I really realize that now." But I got on my green tie today, so it's always to be in green and be in Dublin, Georgia. Thank you all.
With this heart open wide, from the depths, from the heights, I will bring a sacrifice. With these hands lifted high, hear my song, hear my cry. I will bring a sacrifice. I will bring a sacrifice. I lay me down, I'm not my own. I belong to you alone. Lay me down, lay me down. Whoa, hand on my heart, this much is true. There's no life apart you alone. Lay me down, lay me down. Whoa, hand on my heart, this much is true. There's no life apart from you. Lay me down, lay me down. Whoa, lay me down, lay me down. Whoa, lay me down, lay me down. Lay me down, lay me down. Lay me down, lay me down. Lay me down, lay me down.
Oh, hey, you got one of those insurance apps too? You know how this thing works?
No, sorry. Not an app, it's my agent.
In this moment,
No, I'm fine, thanks.
it's good to know you have a trusted, independent auto owner's insurance agent who's there when you need them.
Great. Man, I gotta get one of those.
Auto Owners Insurance. The no problem people.
See your insurance, your auto owner's agent at 904 Bellevue Avenue in Dublin or call 272-0915.
Welcome back to Dublin.
Well, thank you. Nice to be back.
And as Terry mentioned a while ago, are you going to change your tag to Lawrence County? That state patrol might not like it, Hattie.
They might not, but I've at least got a green tie on.
That's right. You referenced some things in your speech a minute ago. House Bill 78. Why was that so important to you as governor?
Well, because we had continued to see a rise in the number of reported cases of elderly abuse, of abusing individuals who were not able to take care of themselves. And we realized that we needed to make some changes. It was difficult for prosecutors to make those kind of cases because many times the witnesses get up in age and are unable to attend a court. So we made changes. We increased the penalty for elderly and abuse of those who are in a disability situation from potentially 5 years to 20 years. We made it possible for district attorneys to use depositions taken of individuals if they're 72 and older and preserve that testimony to be used in a later trial if necessary. Those are the kind of reforms that we can do from a structural standpoint, but also to increase the resources through our through our state agencies, working with local agencies to make sure we reduce the number of cases that are continuing to be reported.
When you first hear something like that, how do you deal with that on a personal level? When somebody comes to you and tells you about abuse like that, it's got to be sickening, don't it?
Well, it is, and my wife and I, we took our parents into our home, and they stayed with us for about 8.5 years. Sandra's mother had Alzheimer's, and her dad was really at the point he wasn't able to take care of her, so we invited them to come live with us. They did. We were told that her mother would only live about 2 years. She actually lived 4. And her father continued to stay with us. And about 6 weeks after we invited them to come in, my mother, who was in her 90s, had to have a leg removed because of health problems and was in a wheelchair. So we just invited her to come and live with us too. And so for about 8.5 years, we had them in our home. Her father lived to be almost 93, and my mother was 4 months short of being 100 when she passed away. So it's a great opportunity for us. But we realize that many families are not in a position to be able to do that. And when they are not, it's nice to have facilities such as Dublinair available for them to provide the kind of care that families are not able to do on their own.
What precious years those were, huh?
They were. You know, we sort of had to come to an understanding with my mother. I said, you know, you bathed me when I was little, and I'm going to bathe you now that you're old because you can't do it yourself. We just have to put modesty aside and do what's important. We had a great time. It was a coming together for me with my mother and Sandra with her mother and father, something that sometimes when children leave home, they don't have that opportunity to come back together with their parents.
Well, on behalf of me being a grandparent and a father, thank you so much for what you've done for education in our state, Governor, and especially K through 12, got those little grandchildren, and just the Hope Scholarship. And I know it's been some hard decisions, but thank you so much for what you've done.
Well, thank you. We are glad that we preserved the Hope Scholarship, and it's going to be there for generations yet to come. And we are working hard. We're actually going to undertake major reforms of the way we fund public education, K through 12, and structural delivery mechanisms. We know that there are better ways to do some things than what we're doing right now, and that's going to be a major undertaking during my second term.
Great occasion here. It's good to have the governor in Dublin again. And you mentioned, I was talking to him on my interview there, I don't know if State Patrol would like it, but we want him to change his license plate to Lawrence County, don't we?
Yes, sir. He cares about the people in Lawrence County, and he's worked so hard for this county, and that shows his commitment and caring to this area.
And we were talking about House Bill 78 a little while ago, which I know you're familiar with it, but it's got to feel good on y'all's behalf to take care of our senior citizens, and the job y'all do here is just remarkable.
It is a privilege for us to serve people, and we want to do our best and be an asset to Dublin and Lawrence County, and we just greatly appreciate Governor Deal's support. He is the real deal, and he really cares about people.
When you hear stories like abuse in places like we see all over the state, and we heard a while ago over 300 cases looks like this past year, what is that from a personal standpoint? How does that make you feel?
It is upsetting because our goal is to do our best to serve our patients, and our elders have worked very hard, and we deserve to do our best to help them.